everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a test or quiz on Notebowl. We start off in the assignments tab here, we go to add and we go to test and quiz, which is the same thing in Notebowl. So we're given this form to fill out. We start off with the title, which is the title of our test or quiz. So I'm just going to say example test. So category is what category it would come under for grading. You can customize these categories for your class in the grades tab. To learn more about that, you can go to ETS's YouTube channel and look at the video for the grades tab. For this test, I'm going to do quiz. Visible to is who the test is assignable to or who can take the test. So you can choose it to be for a certain class that you teach or a group within a class. So I'm going to choose the Notebowl 202 class. The grade display is how the answers are going to be tallied in the end of the test. So I only have options for percentage and letter grade right now, but you can customize it again in the grades tab to include other types such as points and complete and incomplete. So time limit, you get to choose if you want students to complete it within a certain time. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to say 10 minutes. Description is simply a description for the quiz. Question order is what the order you want the questions to come in. This can be useful if you're worried about, say, cheating in class. I'm just going to put normal for now. And same with the answer order, you can choose what orders the answers show up in, especially if it's a MCQ kind of test. Answer visibility is when you want students to see the correct answers for the quizzes. So you have the options of making it available after a specified date, which is down here, or after the due date of the quiz, or after submission. You might not want to make it visible after submission, just because, again, it reduces the chance of cheating as other students might have access to somebody else's answer. So I'm just going to do after a specified date. So let's say Friday, 10 p.m. So in the submission options, you have the option of showing only one question per page. What this means is that students will have to complete a question before moving on to the next one. I'm not going to do this for now. So you can restrict access to the quiz by clicking this checkbox here and creating an access code. This might be useful in cases where you want students to be present in class in order to take this test. So you can hand out access codes in class and only let students who are present in the class take it. So now we have a section for questions, and the first option says default type. So this is not what the entire test is going to be, but when you add a new questions, the default is going to be multiple choice. You can always change the questions later, but you can see the different types of questions that are available here. So you have the multiple choice, multiple select, free response, true false, and file upload. I'm going to be creating a test with all of these type of questions so we can go through them. So initial number of questions. Again, I'm just going to put 1 because I can always add new ones later. Same for the points. And then hit create. So once we create that test, we are now in the professor view. So you see the different details of the test here. So you have the test description over here, the time limit, graded. So that indicates how many students are going to be taking this test if the grades are published. By default, Notebowl does not publish grades anymore, which is different from previous versions of Notebowl. Down here you can see the area where you create questions. So as you can see, we already have a default question here, and that is what that default option was in the form. We chose multiple choice, so anytime we add a question, the default question type is going to be multiple choice. So I'm going to go ahead and create questions for all the different types of questions available here. So we start off with multiple choice. I'm going to make that 1 point. You can choose to make it extra credit or not. The question text is simply the question. So I'll say dogs, cats, I don't know, somebody might like spiders. I'm going to make dogs the right answer. Multiple select. I'm going to make this word 2 points. What are the best breed of dogs? Great Dane. And I'm just going to make all of these the right answer. So free response is where free response, as the name suggests, is again just a free. So free response, as the name suggests, is simply a question where students can respond as they see fit. And as you can see here, it says that free response questions must be manually graded because it is up to the professor to determine what is right. So tell me about your pet. If you have any. So I'll make that 0. The next one is free response, where students are free to respond in whatever way they see fit. And it says here again that free response questions must be manually graded because they are subjective. So the question would be, Notebowl wants you to put a correct answer in to help with grading, but you don't have to, since this is again going to vary. So you can just say answer varies. The next question is a true or false. So I'm going to say, are dogs the best? Answer is true. And question 5 is a file upload. So in this one, they would have to upload a file and you'd have to manually grade it. So I'd say upload a picture of your pet. So those are the different questions that are available on Notebowl. One more thing I'd like to point out is the attach file options here, which simply gives you the option to attach a file That can be an audio file or a photo or a Word document that can help the students with the question. So now that we have the test set up, I'm going to publish the test. And now students will be able to take the test. And I'll come back to you after students have taken the test. So now in the assignments tab, we can see that somebody has submitted the test. So now I'll go to the test, and now we have two options. We can filter the results by student or by question. So here's how the student would look like. So we see that ETS students submitted the test and Kelly hasn't. It says 3 out of 5 are graded because 3 of the questions had answers specified by us already, and 2 of them, which would be file upload and free response, were not. So we can filter the results by student, which would look like this. Or if we go by question, then this would be the layout. I will do by question for now, just because I feel that that is easier, but it's up to you. So what is the best pet? Dogs. Kelly has no submission. And we can navigate the questions using these arrows. Question 3. And so you can see that question 3 is now the free response. So the question was, tell me about your pets, and the student said, I have a lab named Goober. So I'm going to grade that 1 out of 1. And since Kelly has not submitted, the answer cannot be graded. This is an example of true and false. And the last one is a file upload. So I asked them to upload a picture of their pet, and this is ETS student's answer. So I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. Again, you could do that by students, and this is what it would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it shows the grade here in percentage because we specified that we wanted the grade display to be percentage. You can also see other features here. If you were to click on this wheel, then you can see you can hide the student names if you want it to be randomly sorted. You can autofill the grades after the due date, and you can also export their responses in a CSV file. Another feature is you can reopen the quiz so that students can resubmit answers. So you can do that by clicking here to reopen all the submissions, or you can do it for individual students by clicking here. So I have everything I need here, and I'm going to publish the grades. So now the grades have been published, but keep in mind that the status is still open, so Kelly still has a chance to submit it, which is why it's always better to wait for the due date before you publish grades. But I just wanted to show it to you for the sake of this example. And that is how you would conduct quizzes and tests on Notebowl. Thank you.